Welcome to the While My Batteries Charge podcast. Join us as we talk about all things radio controlled. And now, your host,
Folks, this man, he is the king.
Mr. CCxRC himself, Tony CC.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the While My Batteries Charge podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the tiny trucks, 124 scale, and how they're kind of like the new model train. And so I've got a special guest with me, Jaysen from Jaysen's RCs. We're going to sit here and just kind of talk about it. So welcome, man.
What's up?
Not much, just, well, actually a lot. I always say not much. That's like the knee-jerk reaction. Like, nah, not much, man. Just good.
Yeah.
There's been a lot up. Like today, I've been telling you it's been a nightmare for me because we were going to do this earlier. The internet died. It's been dying. My live streams have been tanked by them. And so I had to fix that last minute, but also just got into building my own model truck course in the house.
There you go.
And getting that started. But I know I've been over to your place. I've seen the awesome course that you have constructed there in your basement. You've gone, to the nines to make sure that even the platform that it sits on looks pretty good. In fact, if you're watching the video on this, you can see it behind him with the wood rail around even. And you've expanded to your walls, and there's all kinds of upper courses, lower courses. The biggest teeter-totter that I've been on with one. So tell us, like, how did you get into this? We'll talk about the model train aspect of it in a minute, but how did you get into doing the 124 scale in general, or RC even?
Well, my first RC I got when I was 14, as probably a lot of us did. It was the RC 10T from Team Associated. And then being a kid and having a short attention span, I kind of got out of it. But what really jump-started me back into the hobby was freaking COVID, having everything shut down. And then it's like you jump on YouTube, and I just randomly came across RC Sparks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when he was doing the mini comps with Lyle and stuff.
Right.
And then I watched his videos when he constructed it and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's on now. That's what I'm going to do in the basement.
Nice.
Yeah. So he was the inspiration behind all this behind me. So
that's really cool. They, that was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago that he would have had that video at his old place in the garage. And they made that. Was it one sheet of 4x8 that he did? So
his was 2 sheets. It was 4 foot by 16 foot.
Okay, so it's longer. Yeah. And then he put plastic in it and stapled that in, filled it with real dirt, and went to town. Because he has the crazy winters that we have as well.
Yeah.
Even further north than we are, and more snow and all that kind of craziness. So
now he moved. He's in Nova Scotia.
Yep.
Yep.
Not as much snow there right now, I think, because one of my buddies, RC Nixter's up over there as well, and I've been seeing his videos don't have quite the terrain that he usually has in the winter. He has really beautiful scenics. Oh my gosh, the landscape there is insane.
Yeah.
So but so COVID, because right before that I'd really jumped into the 24 scale as well, and I was messing around with doing the plaster cloth stuff for indoor things, and then I saw he did the dirt, which was super awesome, just using the real stuff. So the build phase of yours is pretty big. It's a pretty big footprint that you've got there.
So I did 3 sheets of plywood, so it's 16 foot long, and then each
Did you do about 3 feet deep? You didn't keep the full 4 feet deep, did you? You left the 4 feet. Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. That's why the corner
is
over
super
here
hard to get to.
Super hard to reach. So
Yes. Yeah, that's what my son kept saying when we started working ours last night. He's like, I'm not going to be able to reach that. How are we going to be able to do winches and stuff? I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever, dude. Like, we can have some spots that aren't reachable because we
Yep.
went 3 feet in order to try to make it a little bit reachable backside without getting a stool or anything. But
Yeah.
that's all we have the space for in our little room we're building it in. So,
Yeah.
You have not only that, but so I've been saying the past couple months that the 24 scale really is kind of like the model train. Like, that was such a big thing. People building it in their house, in their basement, spare rooms. They do it with Legos now too. I mean,
Yeah.
us addicts don't need much of a reason to totally get in on full on something and take over a whole room of the house. But
No.
I feel like from the RC side of things, these have it's a whole different group of people that are even getting into it. Because I think that a lot of times the 10 scale people don't quite understand
No.
the 24
No,
at all. They don't like it, and they don't like that the companies are making stuff for them, and they totally miss the mark on who the crowd is and what we're doing with them.
Yeah, and a lot of the 10 scale guys, they laugh at us. It's like, oh, they're just little toys. I'm like, no, dude, they have all the same stuff as your truck. It's just tiny,
Right?
Which makes it more kind of like
in some ways per scale they're more capable. Like,
yeah,
if you were to up some of the everything by whatever the percentage would be, I can't make my 10 scale truck do what I expect the 24th to do for things that would to scale be the same.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. These little things, they're so easy to use. A lot of people complain on how tiny they are to work on. And I love them. I got 32 of them now.
Nice. So that's the other thing that makes them like models, trains, is that you don't just get one engine in one set. You get a bunch, and they're always buying new engines and new, cars and all that for them. So you just keep making new ones, and they all perform differently because you're building them for different reasons, each one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think I bought like 6 or 7 of them brand new in box, and then I'm like, well, what's the point? I'm just going to spend even more money upgrading them. So why don't I just start off with chassis and buy the upgraded parts and build it upgraded already,
Right.
So
what is some of the stuff that you do with them? So speaking of hard to work on, if you've ever built a model kit, these aren't that hard to work on. Models are tough.
Yeah.
The glue and the paint and everything. Who you got there, you little guy?
Yeah.
What's going on, dude?
He snuck away from mommy. They always find me down here.
Not much longer, and he's gonna have a controller in his hand. Or
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping. And my daughter is the same way. I think there still is a video of her driving the Enduro 24 around on the blanket in the living room.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's really gotten me more into the 24 scale is my kids are much more into the 24 scale which is shocking. I think as a kid, I know as a kid, we were jumping them off of slides. I mean, we liked going faster with them, and they couldn't go fast enough for us at that time. Like, unless you got nitro, and my dad wasn't about to do the nitro ones. We'd get like the Lobo and like the best that Toys R Us had, but we'd still jump them off the slides and go nuts with them. So I'm always shocked that they like the little slow, creepy crawling one. And well, they even comp them now. We go up. Well, you've seen them. You've met them up at Reaction, and
heck yeah, that's awesome.
So it's such a cool way to get them into it. And from that, they kind of now know how they respond. So when I do hand them the controller of the faster ones, and it's coming back at them, they have the steering figured out. So that's been pretty cool. What would you say is one of your favorite aspects of the Mini? I know you do a lot of builds.
Yeah, just I don't know, the avenues that you can go down with these things. Like you can go super scale, which I've really started getting into using die-cast bodies and stuff. And then you can go performance over everything, like with the different LCG chassis. They're just so versatile.
Yeah.
And they're so much more easy to afford. Some of the
and they can get up there expensive, but
yeah,
it's over time.
Right. Like shoot, you buy a Lizard Pro is what, $70-$80
Yeah.
for a little ESC. Grant you the, I mean, it's kind of this cheaper, kind of more expensive in certain aspects, but I just like how versatile they are. You can take them anywhere. Again, you can do it inside. You don't have to worry about elements going outside in the snow, rain, and ungodly heat. It gets so humid up here in Michigan. Oh, not near as what you're used to down in.
I'll take it any day. The summers up here are fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially on the west side here, because even on the east side, I felt like it was worse. But I would say that one of the things that I've found too is that you can make a really, really comped out good one for about $600.
Yeah.
A little less, 500 to 600. But if you were to do that with a 10 scale, you're talking like 1,200, I would say, almost double. So while it does get expensive, it doesn't get as expensive.
Yeah, I was looking at, for the 10 scale, I was looking at that 2-in-1 motor ESC from Spectrum. It's like $150.
Yep.
And it's like, man, it's crazy. And I mean, grant you for a pancake or a Komodo from Fury Tech, and then you buy the Lizard, it's about the same.
About $100, 120. Yeah. Little savings.
Yeah.
But,
you still here?
Yep.
Somebody just tried calling me.
Oh.
I'm not all high tech like Tony over here. I'm using my phone.
Yeah, well, you know what, the high tech gave me nothing but problems today. So
I know, right?
What would you say for somebody getting into it? Like, what are things that they should look for? Because there's all different kinds of brands, all different kinds of features. Yeah. What are some of the things that you like or you look for when you start working on them as a starting point?
Simplicity, really. Some of the, like the new 24 scale from FMS, that CCx24 is a little bit more, like, as far as wires go, it's more like packed in one location, which when you look at it, it's kind of deceiving. But when you break them all down, between Team Associated with their Enduro 24, RGT with their little 24, which are basically the same, the Axials, they're pretty much all the same.
There's Charisma as well.
Yeah,
this is a little bit more interesting as far as build on design, but a little bit harder to upgrade, I would say.
But simplicity is probably the best. They're just, you gotta take into consideration where you just can't look at something and get overwhelmed. Which is why I like the Axials, because you open the lid and it's just one ESC, battery, motor, transmission. Boom. You get into some of the other ones, like Team Associated has that divorced transmission and gearbox. That could be deceiving and kind of overwhelming for some people. But
they also do the servo is chassis mounted.
Yep. You gotta look into that, because with like Axial, theirs is axle mounted, and Team Associated is chassis mounted. And when chassis mounted, you get a lot of torque steer, where you steer to one side and it'll take the truck and like, so yeah.
So as far as doing the model railroad type thing with all the customizing and making it scale that you do, what platform do you mainly use for that? Is that where you use the Axial?
Yeah, I go right to Axial.
Okay.
Yep. And for the most part, it's just what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I steer away from RGT and Team Associated because the axles have such a big differential.
Yeah.
So I'm just really drawn to the axials. So
yeah, I was, there was some talk with the new AX24 that just came out, which doesn't really fit into the model train aspect at all, because it's all about performance. And everything overlooks, because it's not a looker, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but,
right.
That's an easy fix, I think. But the people were saying, oh, when are they going to do something new? They wanted to see new innovation from Axial, which in their mind was get rid of the worm gears, get rid of some of this other stuff, which I actually had written to the guys that designed it before everybody started talking about it, and said, thank you guys for keeping the same axles and same like mounting points for so much, because we already have so many upgrades. Like, to think about having a whole nother set of stuff to kind of keep in mind or keep in your bag in case something goes down out on the trail just seemed like a pain in the butt, because all my other comp trucks are running those. And I actually find that the worm gear is indestructible, and it in automatic drag brake. Like, it's not great for going fast. Like, if they're going to do a rock bouncer, I wouldn't probably recommend using those axles or at least that gear ratio. But they're indestructible and very smooth. Like, but the biggest thing that I think most people overlook is if they were to try and do a rig and pinion in that exact same housing, because if you don't, it's huge. It's like the 24 or the 18 scale Traxxas has a big diff on it, and the RGT has a big pumpkin on it to hang up on stuff, where the Axial one is pretty small. And so that's one of the things I think people overlook about that design, is it keeps it small and out of the way. And if they were to do diff gears that size, they'd probably strip out like all the time, because it's such a tiny, and getting the mesh right on it would be brutal. But
and I'm totally unfamiliar with different materials and stuff. From what I know from real world, stainless tends to be pretty durable, but I feel
expensive.
and that's small. I feel like you said it would still wear out really quick.
And I can guarantee it wouldn't come with stainless ones in them.
No.
Most people tried to do, even FMS tried to do plastic, and people just burned them up. So put power behind it, brushless and all that, and then it couldn't hold up to what the Axial ones just do. I don't break the dog bones. Some people complain about that too. The only dog bones I've ever broken were in monster truck ones.
I've actually just this week I've broken two sets.
Really?
Yeah. And
people broke them up at Reaction too.
Yeah, grant you, with the dog bones, I've had them in my modded trucks. So they got lots of torque, and it's kind of stupidity, because like you try to motor through something like when you get bound up, and then it just twists it and done.
My sons have broken even the rear ones, and I've never broken a rear, but they both did it on the same obstacle, and I was like, whoa, boom. I'm like, oh.
Now that's impressive. I've never done that to a rear shaft.
They snapped them.
Wow.
But I also realized, like, I'm stuck. I'm gonna either just winch or whatever, because of how we're doing it, or I just pick it up to not break it. But if you're just powering through and you're in all rocks, it's doable.
Yeah.
But that would probably blow some other stuff up in some other trucks too. But
it's funny, because in the Follow the Leader video I just filmed with my dad for next week, I was using this truck, and it happened during the recording of the video, so I just kind of motored through.
You three-wheel it?
No, it got to the point where it just locked up, and I couldn't go forward or reverse, and I was just like, well, it looks like Bob the Builder won this one.
So talk about track design. What are some elements that you have for your track going on?
So my boy is going absolutely bonkers right now. So track elements, I've noticed and learned from having like mini comp sessions over here after I built mine to the extreme it is now.
Yeah.
You want to have openness. You want to be able to basically free roam, because if you get it set up like I have mine set up right now, you're really limited as to the amount of lines that you can create.
Okay.
So when I redo it, I'm going to be redoing it here shortly. I'm going to make it more wide open and free roaming like Jeff has at Reaction.
Right. Okay.
Because
Go ahead.
number one, I'll have more square footage to work with. So, yeah, I'll be able to keep still like the scale, like model, like houses and stuff, but I'll be able to spread them out more and create that more open terrain type feel
around those.
Yeah.
I'll say, I think that's a tendency a lot of people have, and I think that is actually probably drawn from the model building of the trains, even. Because even as I told people, I'm like, I wanted help with like what textures to use for mine. And a lot of people are like, here's what I do, and they sent me theirs, and I look at them, I'm like, they look awesome, like amazing. But after you run it a few times, like you've kind of run it, like, and there's only so many ways you can go if you have a lot of like the bridges or the even like some of them are elevated curved, like versus just having a hill and rocks embedded, like Moab versus trails with woods on them. Like I've done those here in Michigan. A lot of it's kind of you have to go certain ways because there's trees all around you, and you can versus Moab where you can just go like
everywhere. I mean,
so,
you still are kind of limited for like, oh, there's a cliff right there. Can't go that way.
That's the truth. You don't want to roll.
Right.
We do it all the time with our tiny trucks, but and there's definitely limitations there too, like where you do have design, lines you have to stay with, but just in that open space around all of that, there's just drive anywhere kind of a feel. And that's kind of what I want to go for and use the gates to be what create the pathways. But I do also want to have some things like you're talking about, like you can still within that have things that are set up to go around and like built into it and still have free roam around buildings and trees and other things that are like kind of obstacles on the course, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like you probably know I took a trip over to CBHQ, Crawler Baller headquarters. And his track is like a very well balanced like scale and openness. Like it blew my mind, and I'm actually gonna stem off of his and when I build mine. So it's super cool. And
I saw the video of you guys there. It looked really cool.
It was sweet. And like with this one here, I built such a tall rim around it just to kind of confine the dirt. But with filming, being a YouTuber,
you can't get low.
You can't get low. And if you're gonna do something like that, if people are gonna build them with filming in mind, I definitely don't recommend doing that. It's really.
Or you gotta. I did it too, but my goal is to go low at the walls. I'm gonna build the stuff up out of it, like definitely get things up in the, because even at Jeff's there's the walls there, but if you put enough dirt in there to contain it, you should be good.
Give me a second.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay.
I totally get it, man. I remember those days.
This one here, my oldest, she's a piece of cake. Ugh. It's the other two that are monsters.
Hey, everybody's got their own personality.
Right.
They'll be able to use that for good one day.
Yeah.
We always told one of them, like, you're gonna be a boss one day. Like, you don't take anything from anybody, and you love to tell everybody what to do.
Yeah.
So that'll work for you one day. It's really driving us crazy right now because you need to be listening to us, but we see the good in it if you can harness it. Like,
it's like, no, mommy and daddy are the boss, not you.
Yep. So what were some of the elements of model building? He has a huge course. That you liked.
Yeah, it's like he used a lot of more natural looking rock. Like there's all kinds of like black slate rock on his course, and then there's like this other stuff that's really like porous that almost looks like lava rock.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
he used a lot of that and a lot of dirt. He used a
Okay.
pretty good amount of dirt too. And the dirt that he uses is um, pretty well clay based too.
Yeah.
Um, he has to consistently water it down to keep it pliable and stuff because with the clay based dirt, like it almost turns into concrete when it's dry.
Right.
And then you get the like little dust particles that are from the and
Yep.
it gets really
Super slick.
slippery.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You
yeah,
gotta
you
miss
just gotta
it.
play around with the different dirts and soils and stuff.
And if it's
So,
too wet, it sticks to your tires,
oh
and
yeah.
so it's like a water it the day before. I think like Jeff at Reaction will water it at night, and then but next day when you come in, it's usually pretty
Yeah.
good if you water it
Yeah.
before you leave. And I have,
Yeah.
luckily where we're building ours, we have like a wash tub in there with threading on it to be able to bring a hose and kind of just hose it down.
Yeah.
There's carpet in there, which is not my favorite. But it's not in good condition either. So it's like if it gets a little ruined, it ain't the end of the
Right.
world. But
Right.
I
Yeah.
wish it was like the tile, like the other parts of the basement with like a drain
Yeah.
in it and just like hose it down and wash it out, like,
That would be
but
sweet.
it ain't that way. But I
No.
guess I can vacuum it if it's carpet. That's, I guess, one good thing.
I constantly like I should have never put this wall up there because now with my little monster that was just throwing a fit, he'll come down here. I came down here one time and he had taken and just thrown all the dirt from the track onto the floor. So it's like, oh, get the vacuum out, vacuum it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
But
what are you going to be doing? You've got to tear that down. We're going to come over and get a video of it all and talk about the different aspects of it. But you've got different type sections too, like,
yeah, like
that have different terrain, and it kind of varies as you go through the course.
yeah, so basically from where I'm sitting now, I can sit here and drive 360 degrees around myself. Um, grant you the section that's behind camera, I mean, it's only like
It's tough.
6 inches wide and it's across the wall. So
And
that
it's
is,
the axle, it's a twister, man. It gets
yeah.
that flexy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have man-made I call it lick and stick brick. It's the stuff that goes on houses.
Yeah.
So it's flat on one side. So it works really good for laying down and you can create, different obstacles with. So that's one aspect I got. And then the platforms up on the wall, I was going to do a whole diorama of like a military base because my family's pretty heavy into the military. But I never got around to it. So it's just flat piece of wood. And then I
Is
got
that like what's up above you where you're storing trucks right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can actually drive behind those. There's
Okay.
probably like another 1.5 foot behind the trucks.
And you have suspension bridges from
Yeah.
that, right?
So
Yeah.
the bridge there is made all out of pallet. And I just strung the center piece that's up on the crest. I strung that from the ceiling and just hung it. So when you drive across it, it waves back and forth and stuff.
Nice.
So, and then I got natural dirt down mixed with a bunch of rock I've gotten from work and stuff. And so, yeah, it's all kinds of different materials I've used. So
I want to do one of the man-made mud pit type ideas with
with the
the
BBs.
plastic BBs.
Yeah.
I really like that. I want to do it deep though, so you can start sinking in if you
Yeah.
are wheeling
Yeah.
in it too much and get a little bit of trouble that way. But
Yeah. Make it like 2 inches deep or something. That'll swallow a truck.
yeah, so it'll suck it down in if you don't do it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Put something down in there as like a help that you might be able to get a wheel on, like a rock or something underneath in a
Yeah.
spot. But
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know why I have
Yeah.
this little brand thing up here. I just realized it's up there. But what do you think looking at the 24 scale, what changes do you think would be cool to see happen? Are there things that you'd like to see kind of go on either within the communities or in the trucks that come out to market, or what kind of stuff would you like to see?
I think I'd like to see more hobby shops get into the little ones. We just took a venture out to a hobby shop in Flint area, and for the life of me, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but they had a huge carpet track for the buggies and stuff. They did have a little crawler course, but I would like to see more hobby shops target the little crawlers, because there's just so many avenues you can go down with them. I mean, look at what you did with bull gear and stuff. You made like mini drakesters out of them. You had that top speed challenge or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. Yeah, I would like to see the hobby shops target the mini crawlers. And then as far as like new development, with these little things, you really got to watch the center of gravity. I think Axial really hit it on the head with the Bronco they came out with. And this is probably stemming from my little.
And I think it's tipsy, but
Yeah,
I'm looking at it from a
tipsy.
competition standpoint versus like a realism, like what I wanted to do out of the box. But yeah,
and that's where I stem from. Like all my trucks are more of a trail truck.
Right.
So as far as my aspect, I'd like to see more of that. A glorified trail truck that you could do mediocre comps crawling with.
But very scale looking, yeah. Other than it having solid axles.
Right, because like I'm totally geared toward that model train thing.
Yeah.
Like even in my course, like I got a lot of scale stuff on there. The trucks I like to build where you could see it sometime driving down the road, around. And my background from off-roading, I always used my daily driver to go two-tracking with.
Right.
So I had to be careful and,
Yeah, you're not going overboard.
Right.
So, but it makes what you have there tricky, right? So you put gates up, if you're running a hard body or a metal body, it's way different than if I come in with my
super light
scythe
comp rig. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Although mine aren't super light. I just put all the weight down low.
Yeah.
Below
But on the other hand, performance over everything, like that's the Fury Tech build I just did for Jacob. With the scythe chassis, I mean, that rig was pretty sweet when I shipped it off. I almost didn't want to ship it off to him.
Right.
You got a couple of them built with those. I mean, they look sweet. And quite frankly, I mean, you look up some of these YouTube channels that do those rock bouncing, like, competitions and stuff. Like, those fit right in that realm as far as looks go. So, yeah, I mean.
Busted Knuckle films.
Yeah, Busted Knuckle's a good one.
Yeah, they're really good.
With the new release from Axial, the AX4 24, I think they're starting to go down that realm of an RTR comp rig. There's a couple of things I would have changed in it, would have liked to see better, but I don't think I'm going to be buying one just because I'm more of a trail trucker.
Not your style, yeah.
Right, but it is intriguing. The Spectrum, and that's another thing with these teeny ones, like Spectrum's getting into it now. That Spectrum ESC that they put in that AX24 with the proportional rear steer and stuff, like that's a game changer when it comes to comps. Grant you, Jeff doesn't allow the rear steer, but he could create another class for it.
Right, if he's selling them, it totally could be something. Yeah.
So,
the 4 steer really has me intrigued, and that they. I always say, I don't always say, but I feel like there's always something that you cut, like, because they can't come out with a truck for $200 or whatever. That's 24 scale out of the box. Most people won't buy it.
Right.
So, like, where the Bronco's $150, $160, right? 159, I think.
Yeah.
Beautiful hard body.
Yeah.
But it's still just the SCX24. Where this one, they've changed out electronics. There's 2 servos. There's 2 front axles. The front axles cost more, and still it's only $160.
Yeah.
So I feel like, there's definitely less money paid attention to the body that came with it, even though it's a throwback.
Yeah.
You look at the window stickers and all that, it's like not the nicest looking body. I'm sure people could do really cool ones if they got clear ones, and
Yeah.
I think it looks like Max D monster truck. You
Yeah, it
could
does.
definitely do that. But I wouldn't put that body on. I'd just go get a Proline body and
Yep.
put it on and call it
Yep.
good. And you get that forced steer. And again, you're not going to get the electronics as much as everybody complains about the electronics. They also complain that they want kits because they don't want to spend the money on these electronics are going to change. So even if they put a better servo in, the people that want to run their NSDRCs or their Reefs or their, Mofo ones are going to complain that they paid more for it to get servos in it that they're going to take out to put in the ones they want. And so the people that bellyache about the quality of the servos are they're going to be the first ones to bellyache if you put a better one in that isn't the one that they want to run because they just now paid more money for it out the door.
Yeah.
And so it's really just, I think that a lot of these RTRs anymore are rolling kits. That a person that has no idea about the hobby can get it and drive it and whatever. The cost savings to do a rolling kit, driving kit, isn't that much. Like you wouldn't save much over buying the kit. Like, so that was with the LMT monster truck. The savings wasn't even like crazy. Like just the motor, if you take out the electronics, just the motor ESC alone was the difference in cost.
Yeah.
But then you need a receiver, you need a servo, you need a radio. You were going to look at $300 more to finish that truck. So everybody bought the ready to run and nobody bought the kit that everybody asked for. Because at the cost for them to make it in bulk, they don't save that much money by having or not having electronics. So that's, I think, what we're looking at with this. And that's kind of why I just overlook any electronics that come in. I know motors are easy to change and they're cheap to change,
Right.
But yeah.
And like with Axio's release of that truck, they are targeting the comp and they know everybody is going to upgrade it to this freaking moon. So it's like
just a starting point. Yeah,
I get it.
It's just not the platform you're into.
No,
like you'd have rather had a scale 1980 square body of some sort that was a hard body. I know. I can exactly picture what you want, where it could still run on the same other rest of the platform.
Yep.
But just a different cool body option.
Yeah.
But luckily, they chose a scale where there's a ton of them available.
Yeah, a ton.
That's the one thing I question about the Traxxas one too. Is like there's just not as many model kits. I don't feel like in the 18 scale as there are in the 24th, 25th scale.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, you get a model kit, and the body still ends up being smaller than the actual axial body.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of those with all my diecast builds. I had to shrink the wheelbase up.
Yeah.
Because they're just smaller. So. Yeah.
So that's, I guess, one of the things that I was like, man, and I like the TRX-4M a lot, but I prefer the smaller size of the SCX-24. It's just something, there's a novelty to it of it being so small, but also so capable, especially if you put even just a little bit of weight down low, it just becomes so much more capable.
Yeah. The first thing I did with the Bronco is I put wideners and 22-gram wheels from Trio on it, and it livened it right up.
Difference.
Huge difference. So
so I hope, though, going back to the hobby shop side of it, and a lot of hobby shops used to have small little model train thing, even if it was a 4x8 sheet. That amount of room, and all it did is go in a circle, and nobody could actually use it. Like it was just for them to have on display.
Yeah.
Where a little comp course like that, even if it had a train going around it or something, You know what I mean? Like where
Yeah.
people can come in and drive on it and do
Yeah.
stuff and it have two purposes
Yep.
would be really cool. I know there's so many shops that only sold or sell Traxxas stuff. And so I'm kind of hoping that they're going to jump on board with this and start doing, some of and a lot of those shops aren't the biggest ones either. Like if they only sell Traxxas stuff, then it's usually a little bit smaller of a shop, but you don't need a lot of space to be able to do it and be able to bring people in to buy parts and whatever.
Yeah.
Just get excited about your shop and the hobby. I'm hoping to see that happen with them.
Yeah, and more indoor stuff just in general, because up here in the north, you only got one time a year to be outside.
Yeah.
And more indoor stuff. I think what Jeff has up there at Reaction is just unbelievable. It's a gold mine. It's all year round. You can go out there, rain, snow, or it's
Heat,
unbelievable.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think there's even possibilities for and he started it. He's doing rentals now.
Yeah.
Like the idea of if you have enough rentals, people can just come in with their friends.
Yeah.
Be like a bowling alley. Hey, let's go and hit up that place and rent a couple trucks and you don't have to buy them if you don't want to do it all the time. But if you just want to have a little fun and a thing to do on a Friday night.
Yep.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And especially with his location right next to that little bowling alley and arcade place and the 3D golf.
Yeah.
He needs to get some signs in the windows that say, rentals,
Yeah.
drive an RC car.
Yeah, I think he's got 3 or 4 mini ones, and he's got I think 2 10 scales that you can drive.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's amazing. The size of it to me, I could do, man, in this space, which is now just, if you could just see, there's 3 suitcases just opened up with stuff piling out of them over there, boxes of stuff I want to sell, just junk everywhere in here because I don't come up here that often because it's just kind of removed enough that it's not I want to come up here in the middle of the night or whatever. It's easier to go to the basement and work down there and whatever.
Yeah.
So I almost should just turn this whole thing into a huge crawler course type event space.
Yeah.
It's
that's pretty much
crazy.
What I'm going to do. I'm hoping I have enough room for a little workbench. I had it in my mind. It's okay, I got to make sure I leave room for a workbench in this garage.
Yeah.
Or else my crawler course is just going to take over
everything. Yeah. I feel like if this was ground level, I would use it more often than I do, but carrying everything up and down and in and out, and whether it's camera gear that I've got to come up and get whenever I want to take it on a quick shoot, or it's just, there's a little bit of a hassle to it that's not been ideal compared to what I had before in Virginia. I had an upstairs space there, but it was attached to the house, so it didn't feel like they run outside. And then also I'm running usually from the basement, so I got to go up the stairs from there, go outside, go down the stairs, come up the stairs, and just then you forget something and you're like, son of a it's all the way down.
It's so far.
Yeah. And so I just keep moving stuff over to the basement, more and more stuff. Eventually this whole setup of probably podcasting stuff will end up in a space down there. And I'll just use this, I guess, for the bigger, more professional videos, try and clear it out. But give it over to my kids. They're getting older. It'll be their hangout space for ping pong or whatever. I don't know. Just kind of a weird space. But I had thought about doing the course up here, but then again, the same thing, the late night video making to run outside up here. The steps are not there. For some reason, whoever built this, I have questions for people that build things. Why didn't you put the stairs inside?
Yeah.
They get snow on them. If you salt them, then you rust out all the screws, and you got to be redoing the screws every year or the boards.
Right.
It's not covered. So it's just it's sketchy when it's icy and all that going up and down with your hands full. and I'll be able to grab the railing. Anyway, so even in Virginia, our stairs at the garage, it was a 2-story garage, and they were inside. Like, way more sense. Makes way more sense than having them outside.
Yeah.
In the elements. But anyway, first world problem, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely first world problem. But this would be a really awesome space for something like that. But
it looks like you got a pretty good amount of room back there.
Up here? Yeah. There's a ton of room up here. It's a really big space that I come up to maybe right at this so far the last 3 months. I've probably come up here 6 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said, it's close, but it's too far, you know?
Yeah. And it's like when I work all the time now, pretty much, it seems like, because this is what I'm doing right now. And my, to be always away from the family, like where they're not even in earshot, like is kind of tough because you're working 12 hours, 14 hours, and to just, be out here and that much more removed kind of sucks. Like at least there I can hear them playing and they can, come show me something. Or I think a lot of that has to do with it, trying to be family oriented and still get stuff done. It's just easier when I'm around them. And this is,
that's why I liked what I have. I like what I have going here. Because on the other side of the wall, that's the kid playroom.
Right.
So they can be down here raising Cain and I can be doing
with
my
them.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Moving into the new place, I'm actually going to have to create 2 RC areas because my main one is going to be out in the garage.
Right.
Which is
going to want to be able to work on them while you're hanging out with the kids still.
Yeah.
Too.
So I'm going to, in their playroom, I'm still going to have like a workbench. So I can, obviously I'm going to have to close it off to them, but so that way I can do the same thing, do my thing and still monitor them and be in that earshot
engaged.
Of the family.
Yeah. It is one of those things. It's definitely, because it's not, I mean, well, like any hobby, there's time investment in it. Yeah. So, and it's even easier as they get older and they're part of it too. But, I think since the most time I spent out here recently was when we were doing that little documentary and that, but the kids were coming out here to help film and all that with it too. We were having a blast with it, but general use stuff. It's more storage than anything right now. And it's unfortunate because it's a really cool space.
Yeah.
It just wasn't planned well. Like I almost need a lift, like to bring stuff up and down, like just a little like rope one that you can just make like a little dummy waiter thing. But,
you need to find like in the old style houses, they had those little elevators like in the wall.
The pulley. We've been joking about that, and I keep being like, well, maybe it's not really that bad of an idea. I'm like,
right.
There's times when I have to carry everything. So, well, anyway, man, I don't want to take you from your family too much. I know the kids are there with you too, and I just wanted to sit and chat with you a little bit about the toy trucks, and we're not that far away either. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
We see each other probably a couple times a month, I would say. Recently, it feels like.
I've been taken up like with the whole buying of a second house and moving, and technically I'm a landlord now. So it's crazy busy. Luckily, right now where work is in the slow season, so I'm getting a little bit more free time, but it's crazy.
Mine's got a couple things in the works because I'm doing a lot of this, but I still freelance video. So I got like a 2-week shoot coming up in like Texas and that stuff that just pulls me away at, for extended times. So, and potentially in March, I might have something for a couple weeks out of the country and stuff we can't plan on. So, well, thank you, man. Sounds like you're needed.
Duty calls.
As a good way to sign off, man. Thank you. Tell people where they can find you real quick.
Jaysen's RC's YouTube channel. I do have a Facebook page. I don't monitor it that much, but you can find me on Facebook.
YouTube and Facebook, Jaysen's RC's. We'll put links in the description too. That way people can find you. Thanks, man, for coming on, and we'll see you soon.
All right, man. Peace.